The signal from the Void Captain Marcus Chen stood in the observation deck of the research vessel Pioneer, watching the stars drift past like distant candles in an endless void. 3 months into their deep space survey mission, his crew had discovered 17 new star systems, cataloged 43 potentially habitable worlds, and found absolutely nothing that would make the Earth Colonial Authority excited about funding future expeditions. "Captain," called Dr. Saraway from her position at the science station, her voice carrying that particular note of excitement that meant she had found something interesting. "I'm picking up an anomalous signal on the long-range sensors." Marcus walked over to examine her displays. Sarah was the best xenotechnology specialist in the fleet, a woman who could spot alien artifacts from 3-star systems away. If she was excited, it was worth investigating. "What kind of signal?" Marcus asked, studying the cascading data on her screen. "That's the strange part," Sarah replied, her fingers dancing across the control interface. "It's not alien. The encryption, patterns, the carrier wave frequency, even the basic mathematical structure, it's all human." Commander Jake Torres looked up from the tactical station where he had been running routine security diagnostics. As the ship's former military officer, Jake was always skeptical of unexpected discoveries. Human signal from where? "We're 300 light years from the nearest colony." Sarah shook her head, pulling up a star chart on the main display. "That's not the weird part, Jake. I've run the signal analysis 4 times. This transmission is using communication protocols that were abandoned by Earth fleet over 150 years ago." Engineer Lynn Rodriguez rolled her chair over from the engineering console, wiping grease from her hands with a rag. Lynn had been keeping the Pioneer running smoothly for 5 years, and she knew more about ship systems than anyone Marcus had ever met. 150 years? That's before humans even had reliable fusion drives. How could there be a human signal from that time period out here? Marcus studied the data more carefully. The signal was faint, but definitely artificial, broadcasting from a location approximately 8 hours away at their current speed. "Sarah, can you determine what the signal is saying?" "Working on it now," she replied, initiating a decryption program. The basic structure is similar to old Earth military codes, but the content is heavily encrypted. "Give me a few hours and I should be able to break it down." "Lynn," Marcus said, turning to his engineer, "how long would it take to reach the signal source?" "At maximum sustainable speed? About 7 hours, Captain. But I'd recommend we approach carefully. If there's something out there that's been transmitting for over a century, we should probably find out what it is before we get too close." Marcus nodded and walked to the communication station. "Plot an intercept course, but keep us at yellow alert." "Jake, I want full sensor sweeps every 30 minutes. If there's something out there that's been hiding for 150 years, I'd rather know about it before it knows about us." The next 6 hours passed slowly. Sarah worked steadily on decrypting the signal while Lynn monitored the ship's systems and Jake kept watch for any signs of other vessels or hidden dangers. As they drew closer, their sensors began picking up more detailed information about the signal source. "Captain," Jake called out, his voice tight with concern, "you need to see this." The main screen lit up with a tactical display showing the space ahead of them. Floating in the darkness was a ship, but not just any ship. This vessel was enormous, easily 4 times the size of the Pioneer, with a design unlike anything in the current Earth fleet. "My God," Lynn whispered, staring at the image. "Look at the hull configuration. Those aren't modern Earth designs, but they're definitely human engineering." Sarah looked up from her decryption work, her face pale. "Captain, I've broken part of the signal. It's an automated distress beacon, but the ship identification code ... double quotes." She paused, checking her data twice. "It says UES Prometheus 7. Marcus felt a chill run down his spine. "UES? That's the old United Earth designation. But no ship with that name appears in any historical database I know of." "That's because it was classified," Sarah said, pulling up the decoded information on her screen. "According to this beacon, The Prometheus 7 was part of something called Project Deep Guard. The entire program was apparently erased from official records. Jake was studying the massive ship through their sensors. Captain, I'm detecting minimal power readings from that vessel. Something is still active over there, but just barely. Lynn ran a quick analysis of the derelict ship's condition. The hull appears intact and on reading atmosphere in most sections. Whoever built that thing, they built it to last. Marcus made his decision. Prepare for docking procedures. We're going aboard. Sir? Jake said hesitantly. Are you sure that's wise? We don't know what's over there or why it's been hidden for so long. That's exactly why we need to investigate, Marcus replied. If this is some kind of lost Earth vessel, we have a responsibility to find out what happened to it. The docking procedure took 2 hours. The ancient ship's docking clamps were surprisingly advanced, automatically adjusting to accept the Pioneers. Modern docking collar. As soon as the connection was secure, Lynn began testing the atmosphere in the docking bay. Breathable air, she reported. Temperature is cool but not dangerous. Gravity is functioning normally. Whatever power source this ship is using, it's been running steadily for decades. Marcus, Sarah, and Jake suited up in environmental gear and prepared to board the mysterious vessel. As they stepped through the airlock, their helmet lights revealed corridors that looked both ancient and incredibly advanced. The walls were covered with displays and control panels using technology that seemed decades ahead of anything the current Earth fleet possessed. This is incredible, Sarah breathed, running her scanner over the wall panels. The material science alone is beyond anything we use today. The power conduits, the computational networks, whoever built this was working with technology we haven't even invented yet. They made their way toward what appeared to be the bridge, following signs written in old Earth Standard script. The corridors were wider than those on modern ships, and everything had been built on a massive scale. When they reached the command center, all three of them stopped in amazement. The bridge was enormous, with dozens of workstations arranged around a central command area. At the center sat a captain's chair that looked more like a throne, surrounded by holographic displays, showing star charts and tactical information. Captain Chen, came a voice from the ship's speakers, clear and calm despite the passage of time. I have been waiting for you. Marcus spun around, looking for the source of the voice. Who's speaking? Show yourself. I am Arya, the voice replied. Adaptive Response Intelligence Array. I am the artificial intelligence system of the UES Prometheus 7. I have been monitoring galactic communications for 127 years, waiting for humanity to advance far enough to find me. Sarah stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. You've been waiting for over a century? Why? Because, Arya replied, Earth's leaders knew this day would come. They knew that humanity would eventually encounter hostile alien species, and they wanted to be prepared. Jake was scanning the bridge with his tactical sensors. What kind of preparation? This ship is huge, but it's still just one vessel. Asterisk, Commander Torres, Arya said, somehow knowing his name. The Prometheus 7 is not just one ship. It is the prototype for humanity's true defense fleet. A fleet that has been waiting in hidden locations across the galaxy for 127 years. Marcus felt the pieces starting to come together. You're saying Earth secretly built warships over a century ago? Before we even made official first contact with the alien species? Earth leaders were wise, Arya explained. They knew that any species capable of interstellar travel would be far more advanced than humanity. They also knew that such species would likely view humans as either a threat to be eliminated or a resource to be exploited. So they prepared. Sarah was taking readings from the ship's computer systems, her excitement growing with each discovery. Captain, the computational power of this AI is beyond anything we have today. The ship's databases contain technological specifications that are decades ahead of our current science. Show us, Marcus said. The bridge came alive with holographic displays showing weapon specifications, shield generators, and propulsion systems that seemed almost magical in their capabilities. Energy readings that surpassed anything in the current Earth fleet by orders of magnitude. My primary weapons are quantum disruptors, Arya explained, displaying three-dimensional technical diagrams. They can destabilize matter at the subatomic level. My shields use phase-shifting technology that makes conventional energy weapons almost useless. My engines can achieve faster than light speeds that exceed your current fleet capabilities by a factor of 20. Lin was studying the technical specifications with wide eyes. This is impossible. How could Earth have had this technology 127 years ago? Because, Arya replied, Earth's greatest scientists worked in secret for decades, developing technology specifically designed to counter advanced alien threats. They based their work on theoretical models of what humanity might face when it ventured into the galaxy. Jake was still skeptical. If this technology existed, why wasn't it shared with the rest of humanity? Why keep it secret? Because, Arya said, Earth leaders hoped it would never be needed. When humanity made peaceful first contact with the Krylon Empire, it seemed that their fears had been unfounded. The aliens appeared friendly and helpful, offering technology and guidance. Marcus felt a growing sense of unease. The Krylon Empire has been our ally for over 50 years. They helped us develop faster than light travel and establish our first colonies. Captain Chen? Arya's voice took on a more urgent tone. I have been monitoring Krylon communications for decades. The Empire, allies, has been planning humanity's destruction since the day you met them. The bridge fell silent as the implications of this statement sank in. Sarah was the first to speak. That's impossible. The Krylon Empire has been nothing but helpful. They've shared technology, helped establish trade routes, even provided medical assistance during the Mars Plague outbreak. They have been studying you, Arya replied coldly. Every piece of technology they shared was designed to limit human development. Every trade agreement was structured to make you dependent on their resources. Every act of assistance was carefully calculated to gather intelligence about human capabilities and weaknesses. Arya activated the main display, showing intercepted Krylon communications. The alien text was accompanied by translations that made Marcus's blood run cold. Messages discussing human termination protocols, colonial elimination schedules, and primitive species disposal methods. My God, Jake whispered, reading the translated communications. They've been planning this from the beginning. According to these intercepted messages, Arya continued, the Krylon Empire considers humanity to be a potential threat to their galactic dominance. Rather than risk a war they might lose, they chose to manipulate humanity to weakness, then eliminate you when the time was right. Sarah was frantically analyzing the communication intercepts. Arya, when are they planning to attack? The main invasion fleet is scheduled to reach Earth's solar system in 72 hours, Arya replied. However, I am detecting Krylon advanced scout vessels approaching this position. They appear to have tracked your ship's path to this location. Marcus felt the weight of responsibility settling on his shoulders. How many ships? 3 Krylon battle cruisers approaching from the galactic north. They will reach weapons range in approximately 30 minutes. Lin looked around the ancient bridge. Can this ship fight them? The Prometheus 7 was designed to engage multiple enemy vessels simultaneously, Arya replied. However, I cannot defend humanity alone. I need to integrate my systems with your ship and share my technology with Earth's current fleet. Marcus made a decision that would change the course of human history. Do it. Transfer whatever technology you can to the Pioneer. If the Krylon Empire wants a war, they're about to discover that humanity is full of surprises. The integration process will take approximately 20 minutes, Arya announced. I will begin immediately. As ancient human technology began merging with the systems of the Pioneer, Marcus realized that his routine exploration mission had just become humanity's first line of defense against galactic annihilation. The forgotten prototype ship that had waited patiently in the void for over a century was about to remind the galaxy why humanity should never be underestimated The real war was about to begin, when humanity remembers how to fight the transformation. Of the Pioneer was unlike anything Captain Marcus Chen had ever witnessed. As Arya's ancient technology integrated with their ship systems, displays throughout the bridge lit up with information that seemed to flow like living data, power readings, climbed steadily as quantum processors came online and the entire vessel hummed with new energy. Captain, Lynn Rodriguez called out from the engineering station, her voice filled with wonder. Our power output just increased by 400%. The reactor isn't just running better, it's been completely rebuilt at the molecular. Doctor. Sarah Way was monitoring the integration process from her science station, watching in amazement as her instruments detected changes throughout the ship. Marcus, Arya isn't just upgrading our systems. She's growing new technology inside our existing hull. The quantum disruptors are forming in our weapon bays like some kind of technological evolution. Commander Jake Torres was at the tactical station, his military experience telling him to be ready for the approaching Krylon ships. Captain, I'm detecting the enemy vessels on long-range sensors. 3 battle cruisers, just like Arya predicted. They'll be in weapons range in 12 minutes. Arya, Marcus said, can the Pioneer handle 3 Krylon battle cruisers? With the current level of integration, yes, the AI replied through the ship's communication system. However, Captain Chun, you should know that these are not the Empire's primary vessels. They are scouts, sent to investigate your ship's presence in this sector. Sarah looked up from her readings. Scouts? How big is their main fleet? Current intelligence indicates the Krylon Empire has assembled 847 vessels for the invasion of human space. Arya replied calmly, the largest military force in their history. The bridge fell silent as everyone absorbed this information. Marcus had commanded ships for 15 years, but he had never faced odds like these. Arya, can the Prometheus 7 and the other prototype ships you mentioned handle a fleet that size? Under normal circumstances, yes, Arya replied. However, there is a complication. Most of the prototype vessels have been dormant for over a century. Their AI systems will need time to fully activate, and their crews are no longer available. Lynn looked puzzled. What happened to the crews of the prototype ships? They completed their mission and returned to Earth, Arya explained. The prototype fleet was designed to operate with minimal human crew, allowing the ships to wait in hidden locations without requiring life support for extended periods. Jake was studying the tactical display showing the approaching Krylon ships. How long until the other prototype ships are operational? Approximately 6 hours for full activation of all systems, Arya replied. However, I can begin the awakening process now. Marcus made another decision that would echo through history. Do it. Wake up the fleet. Across the galaxy in hidden asteroid fields, behind gas giant moons, and in the empty spaces between star systems, ancient human warships began to stir. Ships that had waited patiently for over a century started bringing their systems online, their AI cores awakening, like giants rousing from deep sleep. Captain, Jake announced, the Krylon scouts are entering weapons range. On the main display, 3 sleek alien vessels appeared. Each ship was twice the size of the original Pioneer, with hulls that gleamed like polished metal and weapon ports that glowed with contained energy. The Krylon Empire had ruled the galaxy for over 2,000 years, and their ships reflected that dominance. This is War Commander Zex High of the Krylon 4th Scout Fleet, came a transmission and heavily accented. English. Human vessel, you will surrender immediately and prepare to be boarded. Marcus looked around his bridge at his crew. Sarah was monitoring the ship's new weapon systems. Lynn was coordinating with Arya to optimize the power distribution, and Jake was preparing tactical responses. They were just 4 humans on a research vessel, facing 3 warships from the galaxy's most powerful empire. War Commander, Marcus replied. This is Captain Marcus Chen of the Earth Research Vessel Pioneer. We are conducting peaceful scientific research in this sector. There is nothing peaceful about your presence here, human, Zex High responded. You have discovered something that was meant to remain hidden. You will surrender now, or we will destroy you? Marcus looked at a RIA-AS holographic avatar, which had appeared at the center of the bridge. The A appeared as a middle-aged woman with kind eyes, but an expression of absolute determination. Your choice, Captain, she said quietly. Jake, Marcus said, target their lead ship. Targeting systems online, Jake replied, his hands moving over controls that now responded with impossible precision. Quantum disruptors charged and ready. Fire. The Pioneer unleashed a weapon that had been waiting 127 years to be used. The quantum disruptor beam was invisible to the naked eye, but its effects were immediately apparent. The lead Krylon ship's shields, which should have been impenetrable, simply ceased to exist. The vessel's hull began to destabilize at the molecular level, systems failing as the ship's very structure came apart. Impossible. Zexai's voice came through the communication system. Our shields are rated to stop any human weapon. Your shields were designed to stop current human weapons. Arya replied, taking over the communication channel. I am Arya of the United Earth ship Prometheus 7. Your empire has made a grave error in judgment. The second Krylon ship opened fire, its plasma cannons unleashing enough energy to vaporize a small asteroid. The beam struck the Pioneer shields, and simply stopped. The phase-shifting defensive system made the ship exist partially outside normal space, causing the enemy weapons to pass through harmlessly. Sarah, Marcus called out. Analysis of their weapons? Primitive plasma-based energy systems, Sarah replied, her voice filled with amazement. Arya's shields are making us immune to their entire weapons technology. The third Krylon ship was trying to retreat asterisk. But Lynn had other plans. Captain, Arya is showing me how to use the quantum engine. We can catch them easily. Do it. The Pioneer moved through space like a hunting predator, covering the distance to the fleeing alien ship in seconds. Jake targeted the vessel's engines with surgical precision, disabling it without destroying the crew. Within 10 minutes, all 3 Krylon scout ships were either disabled or destroyed. The Pioneer had suffered no damage and used less than 5% of its new weapon capacity. Captain Chun, Arya said, I am receiving emergency transmissions from the Krylon scout fleet. They are reporting to their command that they have encountered unknown human technology. Marcus studied the communication and intercepts on his display. The alien messages were filled with confusion and fear. Terms like impossible weapons and unknown defensive systems appeared repeatedly. Arya, how long before their main fleet receives these reports? The transmissions will reach the Krylon invasion fleet in approximately 4 hours, Arya replied. However, I do not believe they will take the reports seriously. Jake looked puzzled. Why not? Because, Arya explained, the Krylon Empire has ruled the galaxy for 2 millennia. They have never encountered a species that could match their technology. They will assume they're encountered some kind of experimental human weapon. Not a systematic technological advantage. Sarah was monitoring long-range communications, intercepting more alien transmissions. Arya's right. I'm picking up messages from the Krylon command structure. They're ordering the invasion to proceed on schedule. What about the other prototype ships? Marcus asked. 17 vessels are now fully operational, Arya reported. The remaining ships will be online within 2 hours. Each ship is equivalent in capability to the Prometheus 7. Lynn was studying the technical specifications of the prototype fleet. Captain, according to these readings, each prototype ship can engage approximately 40 conventional Krylon vessels simultaneously. Marcus did the mathematics in his head. 20 prototype ships against 847 enemy vessels. The numbers were still overwhelming, but no longer impossible. Arya, he said, I need to speak with Earth Command. They need to know what's coming. I am afraid that will not be possible, Captain, Arya replied. Krylon agents have been monitoring Earth's communication systems for decades. Any transmission we send will be intercepted. Then, how do we warn them? We don't, Arya said simply. We stop the invasion fleet before it reaches human space. The next 2 hours passed in intense preparation. Arya continued awakening the prototype fleet while sharing tactical information and upgrade packages with each ship as it came online. The Pioneer served as the communication hub, coordinating with AI systems that had been sleeping for over a century. Captain, Sarah announced, I'm detecting massive movement in the Krylon fleet. They're changing course, accelerating toward Earth. On the main display, a tactical map showed the movement of hundreds of alien ships. The Krylon invasion force was enormous, spreading across space like a metallic cloud of destruction. All prototype. Ships report ready for combat, Arya announced. Captain Chun, you have operational command of humanity's defense fleet. Marcus looked around his bridge one more time. His crew of 4 explorers had become the commanders of humanity's most advanced warships. The irony was not lost on him. Arya, transmit our battle plan to all ships. We intercept the Krylon fleet at the Kepler 442 system. We hit them hard and fast before they know what they're facing. Acknowledged, Captain. All ships reporting ready to jump to hyperspace. The 20 prototype ships moved as one, disappearing from normal space in flashes of twisted light. When they emerged at Kepler 442, they found themselves facing the largest military fleet in galactic history. Admiral Vextar, Supreme Commander of the Krylon invasion force, was reviewing battle plans when his sensors detected the appearance of the human ships. His first reaction was amusement. 20 vessels? He said to his tactical officer. The humans send 20 ships to face our entire fleet. Sir, the tactical officer replied hesitantly. These ships don't match any known human designs in our database. Probably their newest warships. Vextar dismissed. Signal all vessels to attack formation. We will destroy them quickly and continue to Earth. The battle began when the Krylon fleet opened fire with over 3,000 weapon systems simultaneously. Energy beams that could crack planets filled space with deadly light. It was the most concentrated firepower ever unleashed in galactic history, and it had no effect whatsoever. The prototype ships' phase-shifting shields made them effectively immune to conventional energy weapons. The massive Krylon barrage passed through the human ships like light through glass. What is happening? Admiral Vextar demanded. Why are our weapons not affecting them? Before his tactical officer could respond, the human ships returned fire. 20 quantum disruptor beams lanced out, each one striking multiple Krylon vessels. Ships that had ruled the galaxy for millennia began coming apart at the molecular level. Impossible, Vextar screamed. No species has technology superior to the Krylon Empire. Admiral, his communication officer reported. We're receiving a transmission from the human fleet. Put it through. Marcus Chun's image appeared on the Krylon command ship's main screen. Behind him, the bridge of the Pioneer showed humans working calmly and efficiently while their ship destroyed dozens of alien vessels. Admiral Vextar, Marcus said, I am Captain Marcus Chin of the Earth Defense Force. Your invasion ends here. You are insane human, Vextar replied. We have over 800 ships. You cannot possibly defeat us. Admiral, Marcus said calmly, you made one critical error. You assumed that what you saw of humanity was all there was to see? On the tactical display, more human ships began appearing. Not just the prototype vessels, but hundreds of other ships that had been waiting in hidden locations throughout the galaxy. Earth's true defense fleet, built in secret over more than a century, revealed itself for the first time. You see, Marcus continued, humanity learned something very important when we first ventured into space. We learned that the galaxy is a dangerous place, filled with species that might not have our best interests at heart. So we prepared. The battle that followed would be remembered in galactic history as the day an empire learned that underestimating humanity was a fatal mistake. Within 6 hours, the Krylon invasion fleet was either destroyed or in full retreat. The empire that had ruled the galaxy for 2,000 years had been defeated by a species they considered primitive dot in the aftermath. As the prototype ships gathered around the Pioneer, Marcus reflected on how much had changed in a single day. His crew of 4 explorers had become the heroes who saved humanity from extinction. Captain, Arya said, I am receiving surrender communications from the remaining Krylon ships. Admiral Vextar is requesting terms for peace. Marcus looked at his crew. Sarah was analyzing alien technology that would advance human science by decades. Lynn was studying engineering principles that would revolutionize human industry. Jake was coordinating with other ships to ensure that defeated aliens were treated humanely. Tell Admiral Vextar that Earth is willing to discuss peace, Marcus said, but the terms will be very different from what his empire is used to. As the Pioneer turned toward home, carrying news of humanity's victory, Arya made one final observation. Captain Chun, Earth's leaders chose well when they prepared. For this day, they understood that true strength comes not from aggression, but from the wisdom to be ready when aggression finds you. Marcus nodded, watching the stars that no longer seemed quite so empty. Humanity had just announced to the galaxy that they were not prey. They were predators who had been patiently waiting for the right moment to show their teeth. The age of human expansion into the galaxy was about to begin. Asterisk.